Welcome everyone to our Shabbat morning service. We begin with the words of Ma Tovu, which you can find on the screens, and you can also find on page 74. Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani ברוב חסדך אבוא ואתך אשתחווה אל החוף קודשך Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha We continue with Asher Yatzar, whose interpretation begins with the words woe, and you can find it page 76. I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me realize I am beautiful and whole. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day as a gift I give to you. Baruch atah Adonai, rofech basar umachli basot. Baruch atah Adonai, rofech basar umachli basot. Continue page 78 with Elohai. Elohai, Elohai, Nishama, Shenatata bi Tehorai. Elohai, Ata birata, ata yitzarta, ata nifachta bi. Ve'ata mishamera, mishamra bikirbi. Elohai, Elohai, nishama. Shenatata bi tehorai. Baruch atah Adonai asher biado nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol besar ish. Continue with the Nasim B'chol Yom. Please join me if you wish. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sech vivina le'avchin ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hanoten li'ayev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamavir sheina me'ednai Unuma me'afapai. We continue with the blessing over the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Continue with the study of the words of Torah, Elu Devarim, the rabbinic application of the Ten Commandments. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Ve'elu hein. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu Devarim she'en lahem shior. Ve'elu hein. Ibud avaim. Ukmilut chasadim. Ve'hashkamat beit hamidrash shacharit ve'arvit. Ve'haknasat orchim. Uvikor cholim. Ve'haknasat kala. Uvayat ametz. Ve'iyut tfilah. Ve'iyut tfilah. Ve'hava'at shalom. Ben adam lechaveiro. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Elu devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu devarim she'en lahem shior. Elu devarim she'en lahem shior. Ve'elu hein. Continue now with Psukei de Zimra, second section of our worship service, with Psalm 150, which you can find on page 100. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, el dekocho, hallelujah, Continue now with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 106. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yomlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala bagala u'v'zman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei omaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha brichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damiram bi'alma v'imeru. Amen. Continue with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, page 108. Invite all those who so choose to rise in body and or in spirit. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla lie, lie, lie. 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 Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lie, lie, lie. 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 You may be seated. Continue page 110 in the Hebrew together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei choshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, va'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selah, baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. Continue page 112, together towards the top of the page in the English. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with your surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Continue page 112, towards the middle of the page in the Hebrew. Behar erinenu b'toratecha, v'na'abek b'veinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachem b'aveinu, v'yahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nitalem, v'lo nikashem, v'lo El poel yeshuot ata, uvanu v'charta, v'kerev tanu shimcha gadol sela be'emet, l'odol lecha yolchedcha b'ahava, baruch ata Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael, b'ahava. We invite all those who choose, if it is your tradition, to rise in body and/or in spirit for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ha'ed. You may be seated. Yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Ve'hayu advarim, ve'hayu dvarim ha'ele asher anochi nitzavcha hayom ha'levavecha. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shibtecha b'beitecha, v'leftecha b'derech, v'shoktecha u'lecha. Shartam leot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotavo beinenecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, al mezuzot beitecha, u'b'sharecha. Yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai 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 lai lai lai, yai lai lai. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 121, we continue responsively. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, there is none else. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God. Praise to God Most High. Continue now with the song of our redemption, Mi Chamocha. Page 122. Yisrael, Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Uvdechenu Mecha, Yuda veYisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzavot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael. Continue with the Amidah, the central section of our worship service. Beginning page 124, we invite all those who so choose to rise in body and or in spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofe Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat alechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. We continue with the Kiddushah, the sanctification, page 130. Nekadesh et shincha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shnei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, V'kara zel ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Elohol ha'aretz, Yevodo, Adir, Adirenu Adonai, Adonenu ma'adir, Shimcha b'chol ha'aretz, Baruch Yevod Adonai, B'komo. Echadu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Hu Yashmienu, Berachamav le'enu. Netzach Netzachim, Kedushacha Nakdish, V'shivcha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamush, Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. Continue page 132 with Yismechu, a wonderful song of Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Yismechu b'malchuta, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Amikadeshei Shevi, Kulam Yispehu, Yitnachu, Mituvecha, Kahashvi, Ratzita Bo, Liki Tashto, Yismechu b'malchuta, Shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Yismechu b'malchuta, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Kemdat yamim oto karata, zecher l'maaseh, zecher l'maaseh, reishit. Kemdat yamim oto karata, zecher l'maaseh, zecher l'maaseh, reishit. Yismechu b'malchuta, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Yismechu b'malchuta, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchuta, v'korei oneg. Please join me, page 137. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom we love and serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha, b'yirah na'avod. Continue up on the screen together. Be gracious, O eternal our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. O may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst and in the midst of our people in Zion. Blessed is the Eternal, whose presence gives life to Zion and all Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. Continue now with the prayer for peace, Sim Shalom, whose words you can find on page 140. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. Chen v'chesed, v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed, v'rachamim, v'rachamim. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Tova, Uvracha. aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Amecha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Tova Uvracha Tova Uvracha Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael Bashalom. We pause now for a few moments of personal private prayer. We invite you to please pray silently. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav, say shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oh, say shalom Bimromav, say shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. In a moment, we will continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, with our Torah service. You can find beginning with our visual tefillah Ashlosha Devarim. We invite all those who so choose to rise in body and or in spirit as the ark is opened. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed. Al HaTorah ve'al Avodah ve'al Gemilut Chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al Avodah ve'al Gemilut Chasadim. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneromema, Shemo Yachdav, Lecha Adonai, Al Gedula, Al Gevura, Atiferet, Panei Tzak V'Haod, Kichol Vashamayim, Va'aretz, Kichol Vashamayim, Uvaretz, Adonai, Amam Lecha, Yamit Naseh, Lechol Rosh. carefully. And as we say in my old country, y'all may be seated. So this week we're reading from Parshat Va'etchanan. So you can find it if you wish to follow along on page 1366. We're going to be doing Deuteronomy, I wrote this down wrong, chapter 6, verses 2 through 9, which should sound very familiar when you hear them being read. Is there anyone who would like the honor of the Aliyah Torah? Well, with that in mind, we will join together. Ya'amdu, Chaverim. Please join me, friends. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Okay, again, page 1366, Deuteronomy 6, verses 2 through 9. See if this sounds familiar at all. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol meodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher nochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'aderech, uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Does that sound familiar? We join together in the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. So just so you know, we weren't making that stuff up. We're actually pulling it from Torah itself. Give me 1 second. Go back to sharing, maybe. Thank you, Eli. So I wanted to mention that before we do just like a quick little drush on it, because right before this, Moses instructs the Israelites about the receiving of the Aseret HaDevarim, the Ten Commandments that they received at Mount Sinai. And then he goes into this notion that you have Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. We have one God. And then I'm going to talk to you about the ways that you need to show love to God. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Now, this may sound sort of esoteric or perhaps even a little spiritual, though it was much more probably pragmatic in ways that they were supposed to show devotion to God. But nonetheless, we receive a model for what it means to be in a covenantal, sacred relationship with a divine being. And that is to find pathways within our hearts, our spirits, our souls, and our deeds, and our words, and our actions, to bring about a greater sense of holiness in the world. We spent a lot of time talking about this last night when it comes to sacred and difficult and challenging and contentious conversations. Doesn't mean that the Torah tells us the very nature of God, because it doesn't. There are many different versions. We even hear about God having a back and God having a face and God having a hand and a finger and feet, even though later on in rabbinic tradition, we don't anthropomorphize God. It talks about being angry and wrathful. It talks about God being compassionate and loving. And when we argue with this, it's really less about the nature of God and more about ourselves. Because as we read early in the Torah, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Sarah, the God of Rebekah, the God of Leah, and the God of Rachel. Not because that God was different, but each person had their own relationship with God. And so when the Torah tells us, Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel, that we have one God, it's not telling us what God is supposed to be in our minds, but instead inviting us into the conversation and inviting us into the struggle. It means we're supposed to be in relationship, even if we don't have all the answers, even if we're confused or frustrated or uncertain, angry, that's okay. As long as we're in relationship, that affords us opportunities to both listen and to speak, to hear and to learn, to live and to do. And now at this time in our service, we take a few moments to think of those friends, family, and loved ones, those in our congregational community, our lives, our worlds, all those who are ill and ailing. On this Shabbat, we think of Hal Arnold, Shelley Babender, Arnie Ban, Virginia Becker, Jean Brosco, Lisa Brunkhorst, Sandy Christofferson, Scott Farkas, Nancy Friedland, Marcy Frost, Larry Galinsky, Howard Goldstein, Jean Herman, Alan Hurst, Patrick Jensen, Joan Johnson, Ronald Kaplan, Les Kay, Samuel Kenkel, Karen Levin, Bailey Linthicum, Emily Linthicum, Brandy Matson, Lois Melland, Nadine Ostro, Maddie Rahauser, Edie Rothman, Mimi Rogers, Holly Rosenberg, George Sachs, Linda Scharf, Rabbi Robert Scharf, Susan Snitzer, Dee Dee Spiegel, Kaylin Stoner, Raylene Sabota, Chrissy Stewart, Matt Stewart, Laura J. West, Levi White, Brent Wine, Abram Wisnia, and Aviva Bott Kalman. If there are any additions or corrections you'd like to add, we invite you to do so either in our sanctuary or in our chat at this time. May the God of our ancestors hear our prayer. Mishaberach Avatunu Abraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. The God of our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless all those who are ill and ailing with the refuah shlema, complete recovery of mind and body of spirit. And may God bring comfort to those who are unable to make a full recovery. May God grant strength to those who are dealing with the challenges of mental illness and or addiction. May God grant strength and comfort and healing to all those who are suffering. May God grant strength to those who love them, especially their caregivers, wisdom and protection to those who care for them, and strength to all of us who love them. And together as one loving family, let us say, Amen. We continue now with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. We invite all those who so choose to rise in body and or in spirit as the Torah is lifted. V'zot ha-Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael api Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. Remain standing as the Torah is returned to the ark. Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcheha Meushar Dirachecha Darchei Noam Bechol Netivotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Continue with the words of Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latekidu laliotse breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kmishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo, Ushemo Echad. You may be seated. Our thoughts turn now to our own loved ones, the martyrs of our people, those who have died in the season and in years past. And when you hear the name of a loved one, we do invite you to rise in body and or in spirit. And if you rise in body, we encourage you to remain standing. We're in the period of Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning for Jan Schneiderman, for Beverly Krasny, and Marcia L. Gallner. And the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths we observe this week, are for Jacob Bernstein, Walter Brandeis, Samuel I. Bubb, Gwen K. Cohn, Arthur L. Davidson, Louis Delman, David Gallner, Bev Minerva Beverly Gendler, Miriam Zach Goldberg, Lottie R. Gummers, Richard F. Gummers, Fanny Jacks, Lawrence A. Jacobs, Leonard Chris Krasny, Annette Lewis Leo, Goldie Levine, Rochelle Roy Myers, Dorothy Milder, Max Mick Moskowitz, Julie Ann Novak, Jane Appleman Phillips, Harvey Pickle, Toby Cattleman Richards, Helen G. Rosenblum, Nathan Rosenkrantz, J. B. Rosenstock, Bertha Selden, David Sherman, Amelia Newman Summer, Doris Speisberger, Sophie Taubin, Samuel Talon. Are there any additions or corrections you'd like to offer up at this time? From those joining us on Zoom, we also add Alice Warren and Annette Lewis Leo. We recall as well the victims of violence and terror worldwide, especially all those in the Middle East. And we remember as well the 6 million who perished in the violence of the Shoah. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled. We invite all those who so choose to rise as we join together in Kadisha Tom, Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, tamiram b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. Together as one loving family, let us say, Amen. O say shalom bimromav, say shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. You may be seated. A few things to mention as we conclude our service here this morning. First of all, thank you to all of you for joining us. It wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you to Eli for running tech in the back. Thank you to Dory, our Zoom maven. Thank you to OPD for providing security. And thank you to yours truly, our excellent and fantastic musician and service leader. Reminder, next week will be Service Under the Stars at Jean Leahy Mall starting at 5 o'clock. We will not have services here Friday evening. You can come 5 o'clock, have dinner, BYOD, and then services, a lovely service will be at 6 o'clock. And they'll be showing the movie Wish at 8:30. That is not a temple event, but you're certainly welcome to stay for that or peruse all of the many myriad of food trucks. If you're interested, there's still time to register for our adult civil rights trip, which is at America taking place next April. We've extended our deadline. If you have questions, talk to Rabbi Berezin. Tomorrow we are starting YLP, our youth learning program. And even if you don't have kids or grandkids, you can support the YLP by going to their Amazon wish list and helping them procure items they will need for the year. We're hosting a blood drive on August 25th. That is the only time we will ask you not to give 100%. Come help save a life. All blood types are needed. Mark your calendars for September 12th. The Racial Justice Group of Temple Israel and Countryside Community Church for a screening and discussion of The Barber of Little Rock, which will feature guest speaker Willie Barney, founder and CEO of Empower Omaha. And as always, check your e-connections, for there are lots of wonderful events going on in the life of our temple community. I missed anything? Okay. So we'll continue now with our concluding melody, page 322, Ein Keloheinu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Emalkeinu, Mich Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, Zoomies. Thank you for joining us. Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi immediately following our service just outside the sanctuary. And for those joining us on Zoom, enjoy your own Kiddush and Motzi in your own homes and locations. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.